Alright, what's up guys? Today we'll be talking about property.
Ooh, everybody's favorite subject.
Everybody's favorite subject. Well, we'll
For
see.
generations and generations already.
We'll see, let's talk about it. Since I was born, okay, that's way too far-fetched, but since I knew how to talk and think for myself, right? My parents has always told me that the first thing I should do the moment I started working is to buy a property. As an investment, right? Even if it's not investment, you can actually stay for yourself. That's typically what most parents would say, right? But what do you think? In this day and age, is it still a good investment?
I think since the time you were small till now, things have changed somewhat as far as investment products are concerned. Let's start with property. Property is, you see in the investment world, the more risk you take, the more returns you get. So property falls somewhere in the middle. Like FD is very safe, and then investing in stocks are riskier.
Okay.
Right? So property falls somewhere in the middle, and you can't run away from that law of investing.
Okay.
Higher risk, higher return.
Okay.
That's the law of investing. So what your parents say to you that you must buy property is technically from an investment viewpoint wrong. Not correct. Sorry, uncle, auntie. Don't mean to disrespect you. Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Even my parents said that to me, and my grandparents said that to me as well. But as an investor, property might not completely be the correct investment for you.
Okay.
So you have to separate your investor self from your resident self. Like if you're staying somewhere and if you're trying to make investments, those are two different people.
Whoa.
Yeah. So a lot of times they coincide, and if you have enough money to be both an investor of property and live in the property that you invested, I think that's the best of both worlds. But if you don't have enough money, you shouldn't suffocate yourself trying to beg, borrow, or steal just to buy a very, very expensive home today.
Wow. But okay, moving forward, right? Some of my friends, I can't mention who, because there's actually quite a bit of them, they're actually holding off marriage until they buy a house.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
But they both agree on it, or just one party agrees to it? Like,
well,
they run the risk of the other party running away, right?
Whoa.
When you don't
think about.
When you don't close the deal, you gotta seal the deal, man.
You gotta put a ring on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, most of them
Beyonce?
Yeah, that was Beyonce. Yes. But yeah, most of them do. Just to mention one of my friends, right? He actually told me that, how can I get married? I don't even have a house. It's technically like a foundation of your marriage, right? House, then marriage.
Some people say like, how can I get married? I don't even have $1 million in my bank to pay for the restaurant, to pay for the ring, to pay for the 8-tier wedding cake, you know.
That's another way to look at it.
Yeah, but I think that it's kind of silly saying those things because marriage is a life event, and you should just get married because you want to get married. Right? For example, if your parent said to you, son, I can't send you to study for your degree right now. Say you're 18 years old, right? And say, I can't send you to study right now because the ringgit is very low and I can't afford American dollars or Aussie dollars. And the university is very expensive right now. I think the university price is going to go down next year. So why not I send it to you next year? And if it doesn't go down next year, I'll send you to school 2 years later, right?
Wow.
It doesn't happen that way. Look, if you need to experience life events, you got to go through it. But from an investing viewpoint, that objective is totally different. You got to invest according to how much risk you want to take. And I guess for a lot of people, they combine the two, and they fear that if they don't invest in a property, they would have nowhere to live in the future. And I think that is a total falsehood. That is absolutely not true, because you should spend on what you can afford. And if you can only afford to rent in the short term, then rent, because that fits your life at that point in time. And save to buy a property later.
Okay, talking about renting, is renting bad? A lot of my friends, their parents especially, they say, try not to rent. Buy your own place. It seems to be a better investment. It seems to, technically you own a property like an asset, right? But it seems like renting is like such a taboo word. right? So taboo to the point where parents like, no, no renting. You want to get married? No renting. You gotta have your own house. So that's where it kind of flows, and it's like a follow-up question. So what about renting?
Well, a lot of people fear renting because I guess there are many problems about renting. The landlord can kick them out. Rentals inflate over the decades.
And you don't own the property.
You don't own the property after that. But to me, that's not the problem because say your property in mortgage payments or your house installment or your condo installment is going to cost you, let's say, 2,000 ringgit a month. But if you rented, you only paid 500 ringgit a month or 1,000 ringgit a month. I don't know what the rental prices are today, but much lower than your installment payments, right?
Okay.
So you can invest that difference, that money that you were going to pay for your monthly installment if you bought, the difference between that and the rental can be invested. So that at the end of 30, 40 years, you're not too far off from the guy who bought the property.
Oh, that's a really good
But
idea.
and in the short term, you also have the advantage of flexibility. You're more flexible to have use of your money to do other things, like maybe get married.
Hey, and for the record, to get married doesn't have to cost a bomb nowadays,
Exactly.
right?
Maybe we should do an episode on that.
Maybe we will. Let's talk about investing.
Let's put JQ on the spot and question her on that.
Not today. She said no makeup today, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, we'll let her on today.
Let's talk a little bit about property, right? Is there a good time to buy a property? Will there be a time where the stars align and the property market crashes and then you get a property? Is there a right time or?
Yes, there is a right time to buy it, and the right time to buy it is when you can afford it. You don't have to time the market. You don't have to predict. We go back to that parent telling you, sending you to school, right?
Yeah.
And he's not going to say to you, this is not the right time to study.
Okay.
Because the ringgit is weak.
Yeah.
Or educational costs are too high. I'll make a gamble that next year educational costs are lower, and therefore I only send you next year. It's the same thing as the marriage thing, right? You don't gamble on your future just because you think marriage costs are too high. So I think the right time to buy a property is you can afford it. Now this question gets very muddled up if you turn yourself from a resident into a property investor. Now if you're a property investor trying to buy 5, 10 properties, then you will think of these things such as timing of your investments. When is the right time to get in? Will the housing market or property market crash tomorrow? If it does, then I'm going to buy tomorrow.
Okay.
But if you're going to buy to stay in your property, why do you care if the property market crashes tomorrow? And you can't predict it. Are you going to give up years and years of experience of living in your own property just because you expect the property market to crash sometime soon? You're not going to plan your life based on that. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to plan your life based on that.
Exactly.
Wow.
I think you got to remember what kind of hat you're wearing. Are you buying the property to live in, or are you buying the property as an investment?
Okay.
Those are two different decisions you got to make.
So if I were to be an investor, I would probably take more calculated steps, right?
Yeah.
But if I were to buy a property to live in, if I can afford it, it's
And
something
I'm also going to say something quite controversial about being a property investor. Look, if you're a property investor, first of all, you got to have all that headache about repairing pipes and painting the house and chasing for your monthly rental from your tenant. And if you have one property, investment property, that's enough to give you that kind of headache already. One more, if you have 2 properties, 3 properties, you have a lot of work, right? And every time a pipe is leaking, your tenant is going to call you to fix that pipe. Do you want that kind of life? Secondly, buying 3 property is not enough to give you the required diversification that investing principles call for, right?
Okay.
So diversification is this big principle in investing, right? You need to spread all your eggs. You ever heard of that term, don't put all your eggs into one basket?
Yes.
Now, if you put a lot of your savings and your money into, let's say, 3 properties, right? And if one of those properties doesn't work, 1/3 of your savings is gone, right? Is being put at risk.
Yeah.
So there are also these things called property funds, like or real estate investment trust
Yep.
funds, or REIT funds, for
Okay,
example.
yep.
You can put your money into those things, be exposed to the same economic factors of
Okay.
property without the headache of managing those properties.
Oh,
Right? There are
yeah.
professional managers managing those properties. for you.
Yeah, my wife and I actually spoke about it, and that's one of the reasons why we don't go into property investment. It's way too much of a headache. You gotta follow up on payment lah, house spoil you will get caught lah, which is something that we will never ever do.
But if you can afford it, you should buy your own home.
Okay.
I think that gives you a lot more flexibility to plan your home and to renovate and to make sure that you fix your rental. There's no rental, right?
Yeah.
If you buy your own
Yeah.
home. Whereas if you rent it forever, you are going to be exposed to rental inflation. Although landlords don't really raise
Inflate, yeah.
their rentals too much,
True.
right? So
Yeah.
you appeal to the kindness of the landlord's hearts.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was. I learned a lot. It's a
Glad
lot
to be of
take in.
service.
Well, thank you very much. Guys, check out Julian on verylongrun.com. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you like the video, comment if you've got a question. If not, we'll see you in our next episode. See you guys. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.